94.3 Radio 1, a very good morning to you. We are doing fine, positively sublime. At the bells chime, we have someone truly special online. We are celebrating Made in India, and it's an honor to have you on my show. The founder of the sweetest company I know, Mr. Srinath Balachandran from Zuka Chocolates. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Blaaze. It's a pleasure being with you, and thanks for inviting you.
Tell me about the beginning. How did it start? How did your passion for chocolates turn into this huge Made in India chain?
Okay, listen, on a lighter note, as a kid, my mom used to hide all the chocolates because I finished it. And no better way than starting a brand. That started like that. And well, listen, I completed my hotel management. Once that was done, I didn't want to get into the normal departments. You have 4 departments, and I decided, I didn't want to be a part of it. I took a sabbatical. I traveled a bit. So I went to a remote island called New Caledonia. So that's between Australia and New Zealand. It's a French territory. By the way, my first language is French. So, I have to think in a little bit in French to answer this in English. Okay.
Wow.
So when I was there, I decided to start Indian restaurant. And then it didn't excite me much. So the search kept going. And finally, it ended up or landed in chocolates. Then I went on to pursue chocolate training in France with some master chocolatiers. And then I came back to start my brand.
And starting it here, the first was in Puducherry, right?
You could say so. In
Okay.
2003, I started that in 2003, yeah. The brand actually started in 2009. So it was a 6 years of, trial and error for me.
What are some of the challenges you faced as a Made in India chocolate brand?
See, it's interesting because, you have a lot of people here back home, even Chennai. If you can recall, you have a lot of friends who were abroad and they're coming back to the country. We would say, get me some chocolates from your country. And there was always, people fond of chocolates. So when people went back, why wouldn't they take a chocolate from India? So that was always, the back of my mind. So I decided to, start experimenting, doing something. And it's a nice experimentation because I had all the chocolates I needed and no regrets about it. Yeah.
And what would be your advice to entrepreneurs who want to start their own Made in India and kind of follow your pattern?
Don't do anything to, please someone, do it because you like doing it and stay passionate about it. It's when you like what you do, it never gets boring. So, keep enjoying what you're doing.
So true.
Yeah.
And how has the reception been from the consumers? How has that worked out as a Made in India brand as opposed to an international
When
brand?
we started in 2009 at the store, we were the first chocolate store in town. So, it was a time when people had a very primitive idea about chocolates being sold, a store all to do with chocolates. But now with a lot of people traveling, they have experienced different kinds of chocolates, which is good. So it opens up, and the the challenge is always interesting. You have to live up to what's in trend now,
Right.
and yeah, so that's fun.
What is the next step for you? What's coming up next?
Well, around September, October, I think we want to start venturing into plant-based chocolate and chocolates grown in India. Plantations. There are a lot of cocoa plantations in the south. So we are working with a lot of people who are growing cocoa plantations. So, we are excited about starting the first batch from late September.
So for the listeners out there, this is a Radio 1 exclusive right here on Good Morning Chennai with Blaaze. Tell us more about plant-based chocolates.
Okay, so the plant-based chocolate that we are working on now is, I get it from Spain. Okay, this is a plant called chufa. So now is the time actually they plant it, they get this. So this has no dairy in it, and it tastes like any other chocolate. And the first batch of our experimentations have been very good, and I'm excited to launch this around Diwali time. But before launching, it's more about telling people about what exactly this chocolate is. So we're planning a chocolate tasting session. So you guys are most welcome to, join us for one of those.
Wow.
And chocolate tasting session for plant-based is going to be very interesting. There's so much you could do with it, and I'm excited about that. So that's the focus. And single origins, I don't want to miss out on the single origins. There's so many chocolates from all over the world. So now we use about 22 different chocolates from around the world.
Wow.
Predominantly dark chocolate, ranging from 60% up to 92%. Yeah.
Tell our listeners, how can someone find you? Where are you on your socials, on Instagram, on your website? Give us.
Yeah, we're on. Okay. Zuka Chocolates is the page you need to look for in Insta, and zukachocolates.com is my website. So, you could always write to us, and we'll be happy to, have a cocoa conversation with you.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, and wishing you all the best from the Radio 1 team and me right here, 94.3 Radio 1, One World, your station.